What if I told you that your identity, who you are, might be as fluid and changeable as the waters of the ocean? It seems like a strange proposition, right? But it's an idea that's been explored by philosophers for centuries, with one of the most famous examples being the Ship of Theseus paradox. The ancient Greek writer, Plutarch, proposed a thought experiment, one that has intrigued scholars, philosophers, and Vsauce viewers like you for centuries. Here's how it goes. Once upon a time, the Greek hero Theseus sailed from Athens to the island of Crete in a wooden ship. After slaying the Minotaur, a half-man, half-bull monster, Theseus returned to Athens and became a ruler. Now, his ship, the one that carried him on his heroic quest, must have become a national treasure. But what if over time, due to wear and tear, every single plank of that ship had to be replaced? If no original parts remained, would it still be the same ship? And more importantly, why does it matter? Imagine the people who had been sailing on the ship for years. They would probably say, "Yeah, it's the same ship. We've just been fixing it." But then, let's bring a collector into the mix. This collector, fascinated by Theseus and his ship, gathers up all the original planks, rebuilds them, and declares, "I've got the Ship of Theseus." So, the question now becomes, which one is the real Ship of Theseus? This may seem like a trivial question, like a silly riddle to pass the time at a party. But it's a question that's popped up in various forms throughout human culture. From TV shows like WandaVision and The Good Place, to debates about whether George Washington's axe is still the same if both the handle and the head have been replaced. We've been asking ourselves what it means for something to remain the same while undergoing change. So, what's the answer? Well, there might not be just one. Some philosophers, like Michael Ray, suggest that perhaps only the individual planks are real, and the ship itself is just a phase. This is a form of nihilism, implying that only fundamental particles exist and objects made up of multiple parts are merely illusions. But maybe ships do exist, defined by their parts. If that's the case, then our museum curator is correct and the ship at sea, continually replaced, is the real ship. Or perhaps there have been two ships all along, sharing the same space and time. This concept opens up a whole new can of worms. Or should I say, space-time worms. What if the Ship of Theseus exists as overlapping chunks of space-time? Like the ship in the moment when the first plank was replaced, the ship as it was when Theseus walked the decks, and the ship's entire existence, from the growing trees that became its planks to its afterlife as a philosophical thought problem. All these ships together, they perdure. They're like four-dimensionally extended things, or as some people started calling them, space-time worms. This view usually goes hand in hand with the idea that the past and the future exist, a philosophical stance called four-dimensionalism, in contrast to presentism, a theory of time in which only the present moment is real. But no matter how many philosophical theories we explore, none of them can definitively say which ship is the real ship. And Vsauce, a philosopher at the University of Latvia, believes the Ship of Theseus paradox makes the most sense in the context of substance ontology, in which objects are the focus of philosophical interest. The alternative is process ontology, which sees change as more fundamentally real than objects. From this perspective, the planks, the ships, and even Theseus himself are not static things but rather processes that are always shifting. Trying to claim either ship for Theseus demonstrates an unwillingness to let either ship evolve into something new. But the Ship of Theseus isn't just about ships. It's a metaphor for the self. If we change, are we a different person? Vsauce asks. In process ontology, change is the starting point. Selfhood is something that only happens by virtue of change, she says. Even death is just the dissolution of a particular process that was stable for a time. So, what does this mean for us? Who are we really? Are we the sum of our experiences, our actions, our thoughts? Or are we something more, something that persists even as we change and grow? As always, thanks for watching.